Okay, we have some Swamp Thing promo pictures of the main cast. I think most or everyone in the main cast, really, like the main 8 or 9 or 7 or 8 main characters. So let's get into it. Here we have Swamp Thing himself. This is Mears in the Swamp Thing costume. He's going to be the one, in the actual Swamp Thing, hulked out, character, version of the character. And then this other guy is going to play Swamp Thing. Alec Holland. But this is Mears. And I think he looks really good. He looks exactly like what I would expect Swamp Thing to look like in live action. They've got the red eyes. His position is interesting. Like his head is leaning forward. It's not like his face is like this. He's got his chin down. So I'm wondering, I guess maybe they feel he's more menacing that way. I guess more of him, if you look from that angle, more of his face is in shadow, and maybe they feel like the shadow makes him more menacing. That's Jeryl. Prescott is Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu in the comics does not look like this at all. I'm not just talking about, the race bending, but, the marks on her face and stuff. So I'm wondering, this is going to be a radically different version. I think they're going to play up with her, being like a swamp woman or a woman in the bayou or whatever. And maybe voodoo kind of stuff. Although I don't think Madame Xanadu had anything to do with that. I know she does tarot cards and stuff. Voodoo people can do tarot cards too if they want to. I don't know much about that kind of faith or that community. But I think they might be playing up a lot more with, voodoo with this version of Madame Xanadu than the comics version does. Kevin Durand is Jason Woodrue, who will become, probably, the Floronic Man. I don't know if, he'll be like Jason Woodrue for most of the show, and then, in the last few episodes, he'll transform into the Floronic Man, or if they'll save him, for season 2 or something. But, it looks like for this promo picture, he's playing, Jason Woodrue, just regular kind of evil scientist, botanist, before he becomes, the DC Comics supervillain. Kevin Durand has had a long career in Hollywood, playing, nefarious characters, and it looks like he's continuing that with this character. That is, I forgot that actor's name, I'll have to put it up, but he's playing Avery Sunderland, probably one of the show's villains. In the comic books, Avery Sunderland was this evil businessman who was connected with the government, who wanted to hunt Swamp Thing down and kill him to find out the secrets of what turned Alec Holland into the Swamp Thing. And they're probably going to be doing the same thing with this character on the show. That is Virginia Madsen as Maria Sunderland, Avery's wife. This is a new character they made for the show. Maria Sunderland does not exist in the comics. She is in a new creation for the show. So I'm wondering what her character is going to be doing. What kind of role, function her character will play. Is she going to be good or bad? That is, forgot that actress's name too, but she's playing Liz Tremayne. Liz Tremayne in the comics was an ally of Swamp Thing, who later became... At first, she was a friend of his, and there was this other guy named Dennis Barkley, who wound up turning evil later on. But then later on, she became friends with Abby. And, Dennis wound up getting killed because Dennis went crazy. That is Jennifer Beals as Matt Cable's mother. Another new character they created for the show. She's a sheriff on the show. She's a cop who's going to be protecting the town. I assume she's going to be a good character. You never know with the TV show, but she'll probably be, a good guy. That is Ian Ziering as Dan Cassidy, aka the Blue Devil. So I'm wondering if we'll actually see him transform into the Blue Devil in the show, or if he'll just be Dan Cassidy. Blue Devil is a DC superhero, one of the lesser known superheroes, but he's going to be a character on the show now. He's tied to Swamp Thing because both of them encountered a demon named Neburos. Neburos was the Swamp Thing villain, but Neburos was the villain who was responsible for creating the Blue Devil, for turning Dan Cassidy into the Blue Devil. So I don't know if they're going to have that demonic entity on the show too, to link the two of them together in this first season. Maybe so. That is Henderson. Wade is Matt Cable. Matt Cable was Swamp Thing's frenemy. Most of the time he was a good guy, but later on, there were some times when he'd be trying to hunt Swamp Thing down and would be blaming him for stuff. And he was actually having a relationship with Abby before Abby fell in love with the Swamp Thing. While he was in a coma. She dumped him while he was in a coma and started hooking up with the Swamp Thing. So I'm wondering if in the show they're going to have an Abby, Matt Cable, Alec Holland love triangle, perhaps. And that is Alec Holland. I'll put that actor's name in there too. I don't have everybody's name memorized, but I can always edit it in when I'm putting in the video. But he's going to be Alec Holland before he becomes a Swamp Thing. And I'm wondering, because in the comics, once Alec Holland becomes a Swamp Thing, that's it. There's no turning back. He's not like the Hulk, where sometimes, the Hulk is Bruce Banner. He turns into the Hulk and then changes back. In the comics, once Alec Holland becomes Swamp Thing, it's irreversible. He never goes back to being Alec Holland. So I'm wondering how much there will be for this actor to do in the show. Or maybe they'll change it for the show where he actually does turn back into Alec Holland. It'll be like similar to the Incredible Hulk. Except his transformations won't be tied to anger. Because the Swamp Thing's transformations have nothing to do with anger. Or maybe it'll be flashback. Like once he becomes a Swamp Thing, he'll be Swamp Thing permanently, but he'll flash back to his time as Alec Holland. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how they'll handle the whole Swamp Thing Alec Holland dynamic on the show. Because, if they follow it faithful to the comics, this actor's not going to have much to do after like the first few episodes. Because once he's Swamp Thing, it's permanent. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.